What's up guys, welcome back with another video. In this video I'm going to share 10 most common commands for the DevOps engineer and the SRE that we are using for the daily purposes. Now this command is not only the Linux based command, but I'm going to share more utilities that we are using it for logging and monitoring perspective and development perspective also. So before starting this video, if you're new on this channel, please subscribe and hit the bell icon and stay tuned with the next videos also. I'm going to start with the first command that I usually used a lot of time whenever I'm deploying any application, and if I want to analyze the application status, how much it is taking the resources. I'm using this command a lot of time, which is called top command. Top is a utility which you have in all mostly in every Linux system, and this will show you the actual processors are running at this moment. You may see that in the Windows you have like a task manager. Similar like this is a task manager that is handling all the processors. Now the good thing is you can also kill the processes. So if you type H command, it will show you more options which you can use it, and these are the options that you can utilize it. For example, if I want to kill any process, I can use K command to kill the process. However, I'm using another command called stop. Stop is a kind of same thing, but it will give you more better user interface instead of the top command. So you can use stop or stop command, both is similar like that, but I usually like this stop command because you can simply kill it by simply typing kill command, and it will kill the process. So this is very easy for that. The next command is systemctl command, which is you probably know about that, but the systemctl command is not only for checking the status of the app services, but it is very useful for debugging the issues also. For example, I would like to see the status systemctl status of the sshd service. Okay, so I can see it is running, but for example, in sometime it's like giving you some like the SSH is not, I mean, the services are not running while you are checking it. So you can also check it why this is happening using the logs. Here it is a logs, common logs. This is the first step when you want to debug the services. So the next command I usually like it, which is a journal ctl command, similar like a system ctl command, but journal ctl command is used to analyze the logs of your services. So whenever you are troubleshooting any services, you can manage the services using systemctl, but if you want to debug the application why it is happening, you want to see the logs, you can use a journalctl command. Similar way we can check the logs with the journalctl command. Now journalctl command is very useful in terms of checking all the logs by using journalctl, and you can use XE. This will show the all the logs from the end. So basically, if you want to check what is the last log on your systems, so this XE command will show you. However, if you want to specify any services, you can use the same command. I can clear the terminal, and you can use U command, and then you can specify the service name. So this way you will see what is the logs for that particular services. Now, journalctl also have a lot of options that you can explore using help command. I mean, just put the help parameter, then you will see a lot of other parameter that you can explore it. Okay. The fourth command that I usually like is tail command using -f. For example, if you want to check anything, I mean, you are doing some troubleshooting or you want to try doing some development, you can basically use -f to check the active logs. So this is basically for the active logs. If I just remove the -f, it will not give you the active logs. It will give you the last 10 lines from that logs. But if you want to check the active logs, you can use -f. Okay. So as of now, this particular file does not have any active logs, so that's why it is at this moment this is stuck. But if there is any active logs, then you will able to see it. The fifth command is docker. We are using docker command a lot of time when we are developing anything and we want to deploy on the containerized environment. Instead of deploying directly on Kubernetes cluster, we started with developing and deploying on docker so that we can see whether the application is able to run it on containerized or not. So the first always option is going to be on a docker. So when we are using docker to deploy the application, we are dealing with the docker commands. So docker commands are very easy. I can show you if you want to check uh, all the options, all the commands, you can simply run Docker. Make sure it should be installed, otherwise these commands will not run. So here is a thing. If you want to use Docker commands to handle your cluster, handle your containers applications, so there is a specific instructions written here, or you can also read the documentation. So there is some basic commands I can share, which is Docker PS for checking the containers. So if you want to check the images, Docker images that you have it currently, you can simply run Docker images. It will show you. So as of now, I have only 2 images. Another command in our list is kubectl command, which is used to handle entire cluster, Kubernetes cluster, if you are deploying your application on Kubernetes. So I also have Minikube installed on my system, so I can help you to understand what is kubectl commands. So kubectl is like a utility that able to handle the entire cluster. It can create resources, and it can also basically it can handle everything that you are able to use from the UI basis. You can use this kubectl commands. Now I can show you a few commands. Let's say I want to check all running ports, so I can say kubectl get -a, and -a I used to see all the namespaces, all the ports in all the namespaces. So it will show you basically all the ports which is in a running state. And if I want to specify the any namespace, I can use -n, and let's say only the Argo CD, then it will show me the Argo CD ports. If I want to check the logs of any ports, I can use Argo CD, and then I can specify the port name. So here it will show me the all the logs. This is one of the most common command I'm using on a daily basis. The next command I'm using it is grep command and awk command. For example, we were checking about the logs, right? Previously, if you notice, I can I can use a cat command to see all the logs, but here I would like to see only the logs related to the uh, this is a kernel log. So I would like to see if we have any error logs. So I can see error grep -i error. Now I can explain this command. What is happening? I am basically checking all the logs using a cat command. This will filter all the logs here. Now then I'm using a grep pipe symbol to and starting another command. Another command is basically grep, that I want to grab all the related the error. Basically, I want to grab which contains, in this entire logs, which contains any errors. And I'm also using -i, which will ignore the case sensitiveness. For example, if it's a smaller case, so it will ignore and will not give you anything. But if you use -i, it will ignore the uppercase and lowercase and give you the all the results. So if I hit enter, we will see some errors, right? So we have one only error, you see. Now I can show you one more example using a grep that is very useful. For example, if I want to see the disk only related to the this root directory, I can use the same command, and then I can use a pipe symbol to start grep, and I can mention this. Basically, just I just want to see only this root. Okay. Now you see, I'm only getting this related the result. Except all these things, all of them are getting ignored and only grabbing this specific root. Okay. Now I can use awk command, and here I can use print. And for example, I want to see the second element here, this one. So this is a second volume 1 2 3. Okay, so I can show you the second one. Only it will only print the second one. Now you can see this is the second one. If I want to see the third one, I can run this 3. So this way you can basically filter out the most you basically can create a scripts also using these commands. Okay. Now next command is using SSH, which is very useful, and I'm probably when you are basically working as a DevOps engineer, you will deal with a lot of servers and a lot of applications which is deployed, and you basically going to use SSH to connect it. So the way that you can connect, I can disconnect again and I can connect it again. So usually, here I'm just mentioning the PAM key for basically this is a private key, but usually the normal command is, if you want to delete, is SSH username and the IP of the server. Now it could be anything, but similar way, I can tell you this way. You can log in to the server. Now, somehow, if you want to also debug the SSH connection, if you are not able to connect the server, you can use hyphen VVV. This will give you the verbose to see what is happening behind the scene. So if I just hit enter, it will give you all the things which is happening. So now you can see how this server is connected using all the secure keys and everything. So this is very useful you want to when you want to debug the applications. Command is scp command, which is used to transfer the files between one server to another servers, and this is also very useful. Okay, now I would like to basically transfer this test file into this remote server, so I can use a scp command without even logging into that, and this will help me. Let me check the IP. Use scp command, and then you define the file name which you want to basically transfer it, and then you need to define the username and the same way that you are using SSH, and then you have to define where you want to put this file. So I would like to paste on home, and the username is like Ubuntu, so I can say Ubuntu, and permission denied, so I can use spam key, which is I'm using Linux spam. Okay, so basically this is denying because maybe it's I have to reset my password and then I can able to log in using that way. But as of now, this is a way that you can use to transfer the files using SCP. This is very useful. I'm using it. The another command I would like to share is cron tab, which is a lot of time people are schedule the task which run on the background. So the cron jobs are the jobs which is running in the background with whatever you are defining in the time zone, it will basically execute. Before this video, I already created one script that we are going to use to create a cron jobs. So I can show you what is a script. This script is basically a very basic script that is using a going to take a backup. Okay, so it's basically taking a backup that will help uh, on specific period of time and will send the email whenever that threshold will go to that particular time. Okay, so here you can, I mean, I we can change the email ID if we want, but this is a very basic. Now if I want to schedule this into the cron tab, I can use cron tab first of all and use -e to edit the cron jobs, and here I can use se- basically it's asking which editor you want to use it. So I would like to use a Vim editor. So I will say Vim editor. Now here is a cron jobs. I can say like this. Now there is some example they are putting up here. Now how we can schedule the particular time that, so there is a lot of websites available that can able to calculate the schedule task. You can search on Google using this. For example, cron tab online. Search like cron tab online and search any. This is one of the website I usually used it, but the example is very simple. There is like a 1 2 3 4 5 uh, which you can schedule it. Now simple way I can say, like if I want to schedule this script will execute after 5 minutes, every 5 minutes. This I can simply copy and then I can define it. Here I can simply say like a cron job. Here I want like every 5 minutes that script will execute. Okay. So I will say this. And if I want to delete this, I can use cron tab -r. This will basically delete the cron jobs. Okay. So I deleted that and now it's showing up there is no cron job. Okay. So this is a way that you can schedule anything. You can schedule for the automation, and And if this video is very useful, please subscribe and hit the bell icon and comment below if you have any doubts or you want any specific topic that I can create a videos. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.